Beer here back at the Fantasy Bar. It's Friday night, and I'm back with 3 plays for you under 5K on DraftKings. My favorite bet of the night in the NBA, and a beast of the night that has absolutely dominated his opponent. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here on a back-to-back once again with 6 of my favorite plays. As always, we'll give you 5 DFS plays on both FanDuel and DraftKings and include my favorite bet of the night. Brooklyn got it done for us last night, so we'll keep that train rolling. But a couple housekeeping items. As always, first of all, you guys have done an amazing job hitting that thumbs up button. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. It's all I ask in return. This is free content. Guys, please hit that thumbs up button, and thank you in advance. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Get notified when the videos are coming out. We'll be doing a couple videos each and every week. And special offer for you guys. Click the link below the video. Been talking a lot about scoresandodds.com with March Madness right around the corner. Well, now guess what? You can try it out for just $5. And this is a limited time offer. Only good for a couple days. $5 for 5 days gives you access to every single sport, premium picks, a lot of premium information on these games, and analysis to go with it. It's not just shooting darts. It's digging deep. It's going into the analytics of these games in any sport that you're interested in. NBA, which we talk a lot about. I talk a lot about March Madness coming up. Always a fun event to bet on. But golf, tons and tons of information, guys. So if you've been missing out, you haven't tried it yet, now's your chance. Scoresandodds.com/beer. Take advantage of that special offer. Just click that link right below the video. All right, let's talk some Friday night NBA hoops. Smaller slate of games, but we've narrowed it down to 5 of my favorite plays. Let's start at point guard, shooting guard with some value with DERRICK White of the Spurs. So we know the Spurs are going to be a little bit shorthanded tonight. We saw the move of Marcus Aldridge, going to try to trade him, but also the sad news with DeMar DeRozan, who will be gone to attend a funeral here tonight. So Spurs gonna need some firepower here, and I think a lot of people gonna go to Dejounte Murray, Keldon Johnson. I'm fine with those guys. I think you can play multiple Spurs here tonight, but give me the value here with DERRICK White, who did not look great in his first game back from injury, no doubt. Not shoot the ball well in that game, just 1 of 8 in that one. But fantasy points per minute with these guys off the floor, courtesy of our Court IQ tool here and RotoGrinders Premium, shows us that he averages well over a fantasy point per minute with those two not playing. So not far off from what Murray's giving you in that scenario, and a lot cheaper here with DERRICK White. Love that. Sub 5K price point on DraftKings and even $5,400 on FanDuel. I think he's in for a big game here tonight at a cheap value price tag. All right, let's stay at point guard, shooting guard. We're going to spend some money on this one with COLLIN SEXTON of the Cavs. Here's a guy that's been on an absolute roll of late, averaging almost 53 DraftKings points a game over the last 3. It's really been a breakout season here for COLLIN SEXTON. There's a couple things kind of driving this recent performance. First of all, playing absolute huge minutes. We're talking 42 or more minutes in every one of those 3 games. So if he's going to be on the floor the entire game, obviously that's good for us here in the DFS world. Also, taking an absolute ton of shots as you'd expect. You're putting up big fantasy points. You're going to be scoring the basketball, but 20 or more shots in each of those games as well. So that continues. Pretty much hard to not at least hit your floor, and it gives you big access to these huge ceiling games that we've seen out of him. And we add the matchup in as well. New Orleans, no matter if he's playing the 1, the 2, does not matter. Bottom 5 in fantasy points allowed to both of those positions. So it's a big price to pay. Price is up on COLLIN SEXTON, but I still think there's plenty of meat on that bone. I think there's plenty of upside here. So get him in those lineups tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, let's go from one Cavalier to a former Cavalier. The best value play on the board tonight at shooting guard small forward Kevin Porter Jr. of the Rockets. So this guy drafted by the Cavs, we know, had issues in college, issues in Cleveland, gets shipped off to Houston, spends time in the G League, finally gets called up after the All-Star break, and what a performance last night, over 42 DraftKings points in that game against the Sacramento Kings. And this is a guy, there's a lot of reasons I like Kevin Porter. Will this be a popular play tonight? Yeah, he may be the highest owned player on the board, no doubt. But again, we got a lot of new people here in the stream. We're talking cash games. This is the first guy you are locking in to your cash game lineups. And even in tournaments, hard for me to ignore a $3,200 player that has the upside to easily eclipse a 10x performance as he showed us last night. But the reasons I like Porter Jr., first of all, chip on his shoulder. This guy knows he's running out of opportunities, uber talented, but he's got to get things going and get the ship going in the right direction. And last night was the first step in that direction. Let's look at Houston. Another reason I like Kevin Porter Jr. A ton of injuries here. We know Christian Wood, David Nwaba out tonight. Gordon, questionable. We saw him leave the game last night. John Wall, also questionable. And this is a team that's really looking towards the future, not winning many games here of late. So I think Kevin Porter Jr. can have all the opportunity here in the world to show this team what he has. And I think he's going to continue to ball out here. So you may scoff at the ownership. You may shy away. That's fine. I'm buying in here on Kevin Porter Jr. I don't think last night was a fluke. And will once again be a big part of that rotation and should be a big part of your lineups here on Friday night. All right, let's go to our bet of the night, brought to you by scoresandodds.com. Again, Brooklyn got it done for us last night against Boston, bringing our record to 4-1 here on the six-pack on our bets. Tonight, we're going to go with an underdog. We're going to go with the Washington Wizards plus 4.5. So one thing I really like to look at, and you can see all this in scoresandodds.com, all the line movements for the game throughout the day. And this one started at Philly -5, quickly got bet down to Philly -4.5. And you're saying, it's only a half a point. Any movement in one way or the other tends to show you that there's a lot of money coming in one direction. So I think Washington, the play here tonight, not only for that reason, a couple other reasons. Sixers, back-to-back here. Yes, they look good in that game against Chicago. We'll get Joel Embiid back, certainly going to help their cause, but no Ben Simmons here tonight against Washington. And what do we know about the Wiz? Yeah, they're a bad team. Yes, they don't play defense, but they tend to play up to their competition, and that has really shown in their record against the spread. 9-5 this season against teams with winning records against the spread. So I like this spot for Washington, catching those points at home. I don't hate the money line either if you really want to get bold on it, but we'll gladly take the 4.5. Washington Wizards, my bet of the night, brought to you by scoresandodds.com. And again, don't forget, take advantage of that offer. $5 for 5 days, access to every single sport, premium picks, all the information you need. Guys, don't miss out. Go click that link below the video. All right, let's get back into the DFS plays. Let's get you a value play from that same game. Let's stay on the Washington side at small forward, power forward with DENI, AVDIJA. So the highly drafted rookie finally starting to look like the guy they spent that pick on. The minutes have been up, the production been up, and is he scoring 40, 50 fantasy points a night? No, he's not, but at these prices, what he can give you, I think will be very, very productive for your lineups here tonight. But look good in that last game specifically. And we know Philadelphia over the years, and this has not changed, have really struggled with wing players, guys that can hit the three. No different this season. Sixers, bottom half of the league in fantasy points allowed to the small forward position. So this is a guy feeling a little bit more confident, a guy under 4K on both sites. A game I think will get a ton of scoring in. I think they're going to continue to give him opportunity, very similar to Houston. Yes, they have Beal, they have Westbrook. I think that's a good thing here for DENI. Going to give him some open looks, a good shooter out on the perimeter. But they are a team looking to see who out of these young guys is going to step up. They put some draft capital in this guy. Expect to see more and more of him on a nightly basis. But tonight, you're going to see a lot of him in my fantasy lineups against the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. But before we do that, guys, we're going to continue our Beast of the Night contest. And again, this is a thank you to you guys for watching the video, hanging out here in the fantasy bar, hitting that thumbs up button. All you have to do, get right below the video in the comment section and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my favorite play of the night. The closest guess will win themselves either a 3-day pass to RotoGrinders Premium, absolutely free, a chance to get in there and check everything out, or if you already are a loyal subscriber, we will send you a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. Let's wrap up Friday night. Let's wrap this week up. My favorite play of the night, Maz, the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We still owe you a center. We're going to stay in that Washington-Philadelphia game, and we're going with the big man, Joel Embiid, tonight's Beast of the Night. So again, generally I don't like to give you guys one of the more expensive plays on the slate. Kind of an obvious play in my opinion. We'll see what the ownership bears out here, but so be it. And I know we bet on Washington. That does not mean Joel Embiid can't have a monster game and the Wizards still win that game. In fact, Washington playing from ahead, maybe that's even more that Joel Embiid has to play. So I don't think these two things counteract each other. But let's dig into the numbers here. We go to court IQ. We take Ben Simmons off the floor. And what do we see? We see an absolutely crazy 1.9 fantasy points per minute, one of the biggest numbers I have seen through this data. Embiid just absolutely crushes it with Simmons off the floor. 50 or more DraftKings points now in 8 of the last 10. So we also get a guy in good form here of late. So we got Simmons off the floor, he crushes. We got a guy playing well. Angry, he missed the All-Star game, crushing in his last 10 games. And matchup with Washington, check that box as well. We know there's not a team in the NBA that gives up more production to centers than the Washington Wizards. And over his last 6 games, averaging over 56 DraftKings points a game against the Washington Wizards. And when we narrow it down to just this season, averaging over 59 DraftKings points a game against the Washington Wizards in 2 games. So a lot of reasons Joel Embiid gonna crush here tonight. I'm spending that money. We saved you with some value plays. Joel Embiid, easily my favorite play for Friday night and tonight's beast of the night. All right, guys, that wraps up here for Friday night in the Fantasy Bar. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section. Don't forget, fantasy points for Joel Embiid on DraftKings for your shot at some RG Premium or an RG t-shirt and take advantage. Special offer, only $5, guys. A chance to check out scoresandodds.com. Click that link below the video and enjoy the tremendous content. In my opinion, some of the best information on the interwebs right there in that site. Go check it out today. Guys, thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer, saying salut, best of luck, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist